guy here that's actually taping the cops. He's being stopped. He's actually exercising his rights to report the cops. Let's see, and when you stop by the cops, you should record if you can. That will keep you safe. Paul came in with a video that he was harassing people, and he's using his First Amendment right to record the police. As you see, he has a cell phone in his hand. You always have your cell phone when the cops stop you and try to record the cops when you stop. Always know your rights, try to record your rights. And they have the gloves on. Hey Pete, how you doing? Belgium. Hi Belgium. You always know your rights. So he's doing the right thing. Put your phone out and record. That's basically the only protection that you do have. The cops are getting him some water. Hey, thanks a lot there. Cops are getting him some water. That's a good deal. Hey, Renando. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Okay, he's gonna leave, so we get him some water, and he's on his way. Okay. How you doing? So nice of you. Welcome to the.
All right, I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kodesh B'Katham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwatini Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this lesson is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And basically, I had came across a video while I was at work, and this probably was like last week sometime. Now, I don't know if the video got taken down. I searched through my history like multiple times, like 2 or 3 times, and I know sometimes I can miss stuff, but I know YouTube deletes a lot of videos too. And it was a spiritual video, same concept, for whatever reason, it popped up in my feed where, a homeless guy was basically denied, who was told to leave by the cops. And, how this thing go, you might get bombarded with topics for a lesson or get caught up busy, whatever the case may be. So I completely forgot about it, but I had already had it in my spirit to do it. So when I went to go do it today, couldn't find it. So I went on the search and that popped up. Now, although it said he was denied water, at the end he was given water. And that's spiritual within itself. Because as you can see, the stance of the one officer, the tall, lanky, lurch looking like the one that looked like Mr. Monster, was the Herman Monster, big goofy, gargantuan motherfucker. That's Esau. It was a hybrid. But anyhow, long story short, I've seen situations like this. Like, it's up to the discretion of the company for the most part. Now, I'm pretty sure they gave him water based on the fact that it was a crowd of people, yada, yada, yada. You seen the one individual, the other individual that was recording as well. He's recording, this guy recording. Because they had their gloves on. They were in the stance as if they was going to attack him. And even when he was proceeding to leave, what they do? When you pay attention to what he do, he got him the water and said, okay, is you leaving? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So he's like, oh yeah, I'm good. So the thing is, it just made me think when I first seen the first video, because although, like I said, I just kind of like improv this it made me think about the times you're coming into. You know, a lot of brothers in the spirit talking about the up and coming times, you know, rough times, evil times. And you know, we can't like um actually always focus on evil, but that's what's I mean, you know, that's the spirit right now. Now you gotta have those faith building and those faith rooted scriptures as well. But it just made me think like if people are denying you this now, how are people going to be? And the scriptures tell you this, you know, and it really busts me in the head because of the simple fact, you know, it tells you in the book of Ecclesiasticus or the book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 26, the principal thing for the whole use of man's life are water. The very first thing. It says, are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of grape, and oil, and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil. So basically, though, the principal things for the whole use of life, you know, these are necessities, you know, to live. Bread and water, you know, shelter, you know, these things, clothing, like, you know what I mean? Like, these things you need, you know, in order to sustain life. And he was being denied that. So how much more so in the time of Jacob's trouble? Because that's approaching. You know, I was just listening to the one brother. I cannot pronounce that brother's name, but I believe he's from Chicago camp, and he did a video earlier today, and basically talking about how you know, this agenda of Esau ease is going to affect everybody. You know, it might not be affecting you now, but it's going to affect you nonetheless. You know, even those that have succumbed and given into trying to hold on to their life by um, actually accepting this, you know, accepting this concoction that you don't even know what it is. And I was listening to the elder apostle Gabar. He made a statement. He said, that's how brain dead the people is. You would take some shit you don't even know what it is. I've watched people not take stuff from strangers. And it could be some money or, you know, food or whatever. But yet still, you going to take some shit that they just said, oh, yeah. Like, and then, Salakia, not to digress. So, you know, that's the spirit too, because when you go and continue reading into this, it says there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of the destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death. And famine is one of the ways that the Most High uses to actually judge the earth. You know, that's why the scriptures always talk about it was time periods of famine. And we are actually watching a famine, a man-made one nonetheless, but a famine nonetheless, being created with this supply chain debacle and you know, just the shortage of goods. You know, how you got people working, people not working. You know, it's a lot going on. And then the elder apostle Tahar was just in the spirit. He was going into famine. I think he did a video said, "Will famine come to America?" or something, roughly paraphrased. He was in the spirit because he went into Stalin. And I wasn't aware of that. Stalin actually started the people, like millions. You know, so, you know, history always repeats itself. That's why it's important to know history, to know the future. Can't know where you go if you don't know where you've been from or coming from. And that's so spiritual how the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua did this. Because, you know, we were speaking about that at camp. You know, when this place was, a.k.a. America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great, was in its prime, is when they were completely take advantage of Jake. Jake didn't know who he was or who they were or nothing. And, you know, that's when they was prosperous. And now that we are awakening, that's you seeing the demise and the downfall of this wicked ass queendom. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Now, in the book of Matthew 24, it goes into Yahweh Shah actually telling the disciples about the end of the world and the signs to look for. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to go into all of these things. What I will say is, you know, it's a list of things. And what's his name? Shabazz, the disciple, said those different things you seeing them take place today. You know, one prophecy has not failed yet. And they're not. You know, the Most High is not a liar. He, you know, it says, Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And that's what you seeing. Well, that's Esau hating Jake. But just imagine when it's Jake against Jake, or Esau against Esau. And these heathens, because as much as America say we together, America's never been this divided. It's always been racism, it's always been classism, but it's never been divided to the point that it is now. And that's how you know it's spiritual, because it's all became completely divided by this whole bitch Maxine. You know what I mean? They dirty bitch, you know what I'm saying? Like this, because you got senators against governors against mayors, senators and governors against the president. They president, not my president. So because iniquity shall abound, meaning sin upon sin, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Meaning he that's in this truth that will endure all the coming calamities, whatever your lot is in this truth. You're going to have brothers that's going to have to deal and give up children. The elder apostle Gabar went into a video about the brother from Barbados. Shalom to that brother. I don't know that brother's name, but that brother's being tested. That's a strong brother. I listened to his testimony because I can imagine what kind of feeling that is to somebody that you care about, and then, disregarding what you say. But he brought out the scripture. He was like, he almost got upset, but then scriptures came to mind. And I prayed that in that day, when I'm going through my trials and tribulations, that the scriptures come to mind, that the scriptures get to flowing like water. Because we gonna need those things in the up and coming times. That's why it's so important to actually eat this roll, to get this in your spirit. Because in the book of Matthew, it talk about that foundation, that rock. If you got people that's gonna build because that may know that something is afoot, or they don't trust this administration, but they don't have a foundation. Because no matter what foundation you got, if it's money, guns, whatever gang members y'all can be 2,000 strong, 50,000 strong. That's not going to be enough to actually deal with the upcoming times. What's going to stop a person from literally stealing or trying to because you're about to see some scandalous times. I grew up in the streets. I've watched people that grew up with each other all their life and actually rob each other and all that. So, or not watched per se, but heard about it and found out and know that these things can happen. And that's the spirit, because I got this Bible app and it gives me daily devotionals, and it says this was the one today, John 15:12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. So that's how it tells you in the scriptures that the world will know the disciples of Yahweh Shem Yahushua because of their love for one another. What was the two greatest commandments? Love the Most High with all thy heart and thy soul, roughly paraphrased, and love thy brother, thy neighbor, which is thy brother. Because your neighbor ain't the person that stay next to you if you a Jake that moved to Edom's little neck of the woods. Because when this shit get rough, all them Jakes that think that my demon got another basically I went off, you know what I mean? I wasn't aware none of the truth like that when I met her. So, basically I'm getting the sloppies. And but this dude got some money, and he stay in a very well-to-do area in my city. And but this motherfuckers don't realize they gonna eat him. It's gonna be like Get Out / Michael Myers / The Purge, all in his house. And that gun shit ain't gonna matter, none of that. Because at the end of the day, you could be having arsenal in the house like Black Rambo, but if you ain't wear the fucking arsenal, now Black Rambo go have war with him. That motherfucker be keeping 20 guns. But we gotta be funny with it, but to a certain extent, because we coming at the times that ain't gonna be funny. It says, verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness. Matthew 24:14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And that's how you know we're in the end, because it's one particular doctrine that's reached the four corners of the earth. And Because like I say, Christianity has reached the four corners of the earth, and what the world got more wicked. You know what I mean? Roman Catholicism, which is Christianity, is a branch of that. Literally reached the four corners of the earth, and the world got more wicked. Now, the world got more wicked, but at the same time, prophecies really began to speak once, you know, the men of Great Millstone and other camps, because, although they might not speak the 100% truth, they speak some truth. And the thing is, you need the 100% because there's only one truth. And that's why, being a Great Millstone, all I can say is I pray that those that are being misled by, because some of them heads are wicked. Now, I ain't going to speak on no names and because I don't know the men like that. And I leave that for the elders. I mean, I've been learned that just because you are part of something don't mean you're supposed to speak on something. That's manly type shit. That's like, if I ain't partake in it, I don't, man. But at the same time, I hope some of them people come out. The Lord going to take some of them people out because the elect are the elect. So the brothers, the sisters, whoever, you know what I mean? So yeah, Salakia for digression though. So back into Second Ezra 15, because like I say, again, like I said, what prompted this lesson is because of the fact we about to go into a famine. You already seeing shortages. They already making you aware of it. So to show you how cold the Lord is, it's already put out there. So when you have a silly ass dumb Jake, wow, she is super. That's Satan though. Salakia. See how Satan jump in your mind? But Salakia Yabashim Yashabashim Rakaka Kodash Rakatham Anya Guy Arka Shantan. Bashim Yahweh Bashim Yahshabashim Rakaka Kodash Rakatham. Anyhow, they already making it known that it's gonna be shortages and the supply chain fucked up and literally it's gonna be hard to get goods. But you still gonna have some goofy Jake, and that's gonna be their judgment. You know what I mean? Like literally, like how you, and then you be having Jake that be having access to TV and all this. Like I work with people that don't know what's going on, and I've told a lot of Jakes that I work with, and sometimes I bit my tongue because I've been put in situations telling Jake the truth, and then that's why I tells you don't cast your pearls before swine. I tell one Jake, this corny ass a 2/3 nigga went back and told the Edomites, but that's neither here nor there. We coming into some serious times. And like I said, watching that video let me think, well, damn, if they doing this now, what do you think it's going to be like in that day? And that's going to cause things like this. This is 2 Ezra 15, chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, evading one another, meaning going into your house. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're not going to pay attention to these police officers, which are actually retiring and quitting in droves. Nor princes in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're not going to be waiting regarding the law. They're going to do what they feel they need to do for what's best for them and their family. It says, verse 17, I'm going to skip to verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So you about to see, what's that, Isaiah 19 and 2, the Egyptian versus Egyptian. But with all that being said, as followers and believers of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, it tells you that because judgment that's coming to this world is not for the righteous, it's for the wicked. Just like the judgment of the flood was. This coming judgment of these nukes is for the wicked. So the men of Yahweh Bashim, that's the spirit, because brothers was just speaking about something in the group chat, and this one particular brother, one of the most laid back brothers in the camp, he said, you really don't think that the Most High got us, he's just going to have us suffering? Now, the thing is, we all going to go through something. We are about to be tested, but nonetheless, it tells you in the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 13, therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Because people about to take a beating. I mean, like, beyond Jacob's trouble is called Jacob's trouble for a reason. So it's going to first and foremost be for you Israelites, you so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, and similar Indians, West Indians, Haitians, all you tribes that's on this land. You're going to get it first because they literally don't like you. They hate you. It's enmity. Esau can't stand you. He'll use you, and you see that all the time. And ye shall leave your name for a curse upon my choice, and for the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua shall slay thee and call his servants by another name. The point was 13 and 14. Then when you go into what's this? Job 5 and 19. It says, Job 5 and 19, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7, there shall no evil touch thee. Verse 20, in famine, the point, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. So in famine you're going to eat. He ain't going to let you starve to death. And when it tells you in the book of Isaiah chapter 59, 19, when Esau come in as a flood, the Lord is going to lift up a standard. So the Lord going to protect you. That's why it tells you in the book of Psalms 91 about he that dwelleth in the secret place of the high, meaning this truth shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. And then it goes into how, he shall cover thee. 1,000 die at that side and 10,000 at that right hand. None shall touch thee. This is the book of Sirach. And you got to have that in your spirit because, like I said, with the times it's coming, literally, we about to see a lot of suffering, and rightfully so, because this is a wicked ass place. And for you to be here enduring this is for a multitude of reasons, to be judged, or you are one of those righteous to be saved. Not a multitude, but those 2 reasons. There's only 2 reasons. See, this is the spirit. It's one of Psalms 147. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, meaning believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Verse 7, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. So, meaning you stand firm. You stand boldly on the faith that you have. That's why it's so important to have the foundation. I think Psalms 147 and something, it's in chapter 147, talks about the Most High delighteth in those that fear him. So a man that truly fear him, or a woman, is not going to try to seek their own way out. They go stand firm on the belief that the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to protect them and save them. Verse 8, ye that fear the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Verse 9, ye that fear the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Verse 10, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and was confounded, or did any in his fear, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So who hadn't the Lord ever helped that trusted? And look at Daniel in the lion's den. Look at Peter and Paul, and this is what these accounts are for. It tells you the things written before time are written for our learning. We're supposed to use these things as examples for the coming times that we're about to face. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this all like this. It's like a few more scriptures, and as you can see, that phone call was pretty important. So I'm probably gonna end it on this Matthew, because at the end of the day, the times we coming in are, like I say, it's about to be faith testing times. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get this with that though. This is the book of First Peter. First Peter 4, starting at point in verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. Verse 13. But rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Because the strange, because the fiery trial that you're about to actually endure is that time of Jacob's trouble. It tells you in the book of Revelation chapter 3 that the hour of temptation is going to befall the whole world. So find it not strange, or if it tells you that servant is not greater than the master. So if if they persecuted Yahushua Hamashiach, why wouldn't they you? And as at the end of the day, the things that the true believers are about to go through and suffer are for a testimony. That's how you about to really see the spiritual power. Because when you really see, they popped out with that Boston Dynamic dog and they put a motherfucking rifle in that motherfucker off a cartoon, a movie, or some shit. And then you telling people this stuff and they looking at you like you retarded. Call Allah Yahweh because it's so deep. When you go into how the brothers really mindset is, a lot of brothers into video games, comic books. Some brothers ain't, but for the most part, or not as much as others. But I always, all my life, just been into that, knowing or like really deep down in my spirit, knowing that something like that ain't that far fetched. And then to see this, because the Lord about to show miracles, and I pray that I'm worthy to be a part of that and to see that. I don't have to necessarily be the person with spiritual powers just to see it, because just imagine once a brother do a miracle, you know what kind of belief that's going to bring? Right. So I'm going to end it with this Matthew, because at the end of the day, with the times coming, you got to have your sure foundation. This is Matthew 7 and verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, meaning, these, following these laws, statutes, commandments, following, the different sayings and parables that Yahushua Mashiach actually taught by his teachings. It's important to love your brother. Like I said, you really think a nigga in the day of Jacob's trouble, when it's one sandwich, is going to share that sandwich with you? He might cut your throat for the fucking sandwich. That's why it's so important to, I just heard the elder Apostle Gabar make mention of this, to examine thyself daily. And what I respect about what he said, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, because he said, I'm one of those people that actually believe in practicing what I preach. We all got to make sure you're not being too prideful. Got to make sure that you actually, it's a guy that was in our camp that got pushed to the other side, and he just, within like the last month and a half, he stopped coming, out. And it's so spiritual, because the Most High, one of the brothers was telling me, he was like, basically, he did a video. Now, he wasn't doing videos, so that was one of the reasons, but not to go into all that. The thing is, he said the Lord so cold, he used somebody that he knew and that told him he wasn't a prophet. So that's why he did the video, like, well, prophet prophesied, yada, yada. And then right shortly after that, he stopped coming out. So that's why it's so important to examine thyself daily. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And when you go into that rock, that chief cornerstone is Yahushua Hamashiach. Now, I can go deeper, but that's enough. That's your foundation. Because we basically, we basically trying to emulate Yahushua Hamashiach. We trying to live our lives and be like our big brother Yahushua Hamashiach. Verse 26, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand. Verse 27, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the wind blew and beat upon that house, and it fell and was great. Salakia, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So all those that trusted in anything besides that, like say, I mean, like, it's nothing wrong with having something to protect yourself. There's nothing wrong with having a couple extra cans of food or putting away a silver coin here and there. But when you were relying and trusting in that, I was just listening to the brother from the head of Kansas City, Mullahoy. I'm probably butchering that brother's name. I listened to him from time to time. Shalom, brother. That's a strong brother in the spirit. And he was just saying the same thing, and you got to understand that, that's why he was saying, like, if you got those things, but then, like when Yahweh Shah said in Matthew 24, do not go back to the house, but flee to the mountains, roughly paraphrase. So when this go down, if it's not with you or you're not near it, ain't no point in trying to come get it. Like he made a mention, he made a statement. He said, you got to remember, a lot of the brothers gonna be in the inner cities. Now, I met brothers that got farmland and everything, so we don't know everybody's lot. But for the most part, a lot of brothers gonna be in the midst of this, and that's why the salvation is gonna be so great. So if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, because the Lord about to work his work, he gonna destroy greatly, but he gonna save greatly as well. So if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the statutes, and to the commandments before that day of Jacob's trouble, before judgment hits this place, or you gonna die horrifically. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Elohim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kodash Barakatham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders, a great millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you I say shalom. Until next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Mawath lababah.